My American dream began the day that I landed in this country. I landed at Newark International Airport. My aunt picked me up and took me to her home. I asked her what's for lunch, expecting that she would tell me that there's a home-cooked Indian meal after this 24-hour flight. Instead, she hands me a $20 bill, walks me to the apartment window, and points at the 5 guys across the street. Then she sells it to me and says, "That's Obama's favorite burger." Say less, auntie. I walk into that 5 guys. I've never had a cheeseburger before. I order what the guy recommends, of course, the most expensive thing on the menu, a double bacon cheeseburger with large fries and a large Coke. Now, in my head, I thought it would be the equivalent of an Indian large, which I later found out an Indian large is smaller than an American small. So the lady who was making the food, she hands me my fries and my burger and gives me an empty cup. I wasn't used to an empty cup. I asked, "Where's my Coke?" And she points at the soda dispenser behind me, and I start to do the math. If I can fill my own cup, that means I can refill my own cup. But I didn't want to be a criminal in this country on my first day. So I asked her, "Free refills?" And she said, "Free refills." You have no idea how much this meant to me. Growing up in India, Coke was available and cheap, but it's an indulgence. You don't just get it willy-nilly everywhere, not unlimited. Like, friends would play cricket, and the losing team would buy the winning team a bottle of Coke as a prize, as a trophy. It was like the Super Bowl. So this unlimited free Coke for me was like winning the lottery. That day, I had 3 large Cokes with my cheeseburger. God bless America. I thought this was an anomaly. I was like, this can't be true everywhere. Maybe this is the only place where Obama had a burger, and that's why they give out free Cokes. So imagine my surprise when I go to college the next week, and in my freshman year cafeteria, there is the same soda dispensing machine, unlimited free soda. So for lunch every day for the next 6 months, I have 2 slices of pizza, 1, sometimes 2 grilled cheese sandwiches, and 2 large glasses of Coke. And I basically stopped drinking water because who needs water when you have Coke? A little while later, I'm sitting in my calculus class, I'm taking notes, and I feel this jolt of pain in my left side of my stomach. I wonder why. And this might be too much information, but this is important for the story. I think that I'm constipated, so I excuse myself, and I go to the restroom. And I try to go, and I'm hunched over, and I'm sweating, and the pain is now rising and falling, and it's really intense. It's like someone's got claws inside me, and they're ripping out my midsection. But doesn't resolve. I decide I'm going to skip the classes. I'm going to go back to my dorm. I'm going to rest. I call my dad. It's 10 p.m. in India. And I ask him for advice, and he tells me, just take some painkillers, take some laxatives, and try to sleep it off. But the pain just keeps rising. It comes up and goes, and it keeps getting worse as the day goes on. At 3 a.m., I finally give in, and I say I need medical assistance. So I ask a friend of mine, I said, "Hey, I need to go to the hospital." So he takes me to the emergency room because that's the only place that would treat you. Now, the thing that I didn't know at the time, again, first year in America, was that emergency rooms in America are not cheap. But we were there, and the nurse asked me, on a scale of 0 to 10, how much pain are you in? A question I'd never been asked before. And I, trying to put on a brave face, I said 6, maybe 7, which in their language is, you are not dying yet, so we will not treat you yet. And they made me wait for 3 more hours, and the pain at this point is like tiny knives being stabbed in my side the whole time. Eventually, the doctor comes out and takes me in, and he asks me what's going on. I tell him everything that's happened that morning. And he asks me if I've taken any medicine, and I say, I've taken the painkillers my dad suggested and the laxatives. He takes my vitals, everything is looking good. And he says, well, have there been any changes to your diet recently? And I was like, oh, yeah, about that. And I explained to him what has happened in the last 6 months. The doctor orders a CT scan, and turns out that I was not, in fact, constipated, but I had kidney stones. And I was in shock because kidney stones at 18, and the doctor told me that it was because of all the Coke that I'd been drinking and the water that I hadn't been drinking. And I learned 2 things that day. Turns out that Coke is not a substitute for water. But the second thing I learned was that my American dream died that day. And I remembered something my dad told me when I was younger. He used to say, nothing in life is free. Somebody somewhere is always paying for it. In this case, my American dream was being paid for by my kidneys. Thank you.
Harjas Singh.